Hello and welcome back to Triad News 360 for February 6, 2018. I'm Sydney Goldberg.
And I'm Jennifer Brammer. Coming up next, a message 50 years in the making that is still important today.
Also, a unique high-quality jewelry shop that is opening its doors. It's the start of February, Black History Month, a month that celebrates African American history throughout the decades.
There have been many famous people that have made a monumental impact on history in this country. Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, and those that started the civil rights movement at a drugstore county in Greensboro.
Their message from back then hasn't changed much today. I was there when it's standing in front of a crowded, packed room in the auditorium to hear what those who started the civil rights movement had to say.
You know that movements are not built by the masses. Okay, 4 people build a movement.
Mr. Joseph McNeil, Mr. Charles Best, Mr. Lewis Brandon, and Miss Yvonne Johnson shared their experience of their part during the civil rights movement 50 years ago, where they took a seat in order to take a stand. It was a packed house filled with college students from UNC Greensboro and Guilford County Middle College. Students were invited to a face-to-face encounter with participants from Woolworth's Lunch Counter Sit-In.
It was a peaceful demonstration. Even the police walked by. Goes over and stands in the corner. The police didn't say one word.
The current mayor of Greensboro, 75-year-old Yvonne Johnson, planned and attended marches throughout the civil rights movement.
I was a participant in the civil rights movement.
I have a dream.
Went to the March on Washington and heard Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech in 1963.
These brave men and women who changed the course of history will never be forgotten and are continuing to inspire others to remain persistent in the fight today. It truly was a phenomenal experience. The Black History Month celebrates don't just stop here. All throughout the country and all colleges' campuses events will take place to honor the African American heritage.
Wow, Sydney, that was amazing. What a wonderful opportunity to witness that. What was the reaction to what they had to say?
It was absolutely breathtaking. You had to be there to experience it.
Great to see such a crowd. The fight and the message from 50 years ago still applies today.
Emeralds, rubies, pearls, I love it all. Ever imagine being able to afford those high-end jewelry?
Not right now, but you know, I like the idea.
Triad News 360 reporter Maximilian Thomas explored a brand new store in the Triad that is a collector's delight. Max?
Thanks, Sydney and Jennifer. If you ever eyed a really nice piece of jewelry but couldn't afford it, well, now there is a treasure chest of elderly collectibles that we're hoping to find some new homes.
Black and white pearl earrings from Margarita Island, an opal and gold locket from the late Victorian era.
Oh, they're just all so beautiful. I'm always fascinated by the estate jewelry.
Gold, emerald, and sapphires are all known as estate jewelry. Estate jewelry is any piece of jewelry that was previously owned. The item's age can range from 1 to 100 years, and each piece carries its own history.
The Victorians were very interested in the hair jewelry. They would take hair and braid it, and they would make actually pictures, shadow boxes of flowers, all made out of human hair. It was a very Victorian thing to do. And to keep a memento of someone who was near and dear to them, they would often put it in a locket to be worn on their person. We're still sentimental today.
Replacements Limited is right off the highway near Greensboro, North Carolina. And inside lies a treasure trove of crystals, collectibles, antiques, and jewels. As of February 3rd, 2018, Replacements held its grand opening of the estate jewelry collection. Due to the age range of the jewels, the collection is vast, and there are pretty much something to suit almost any taste.
Going to be purchasing a pair of earrings, and I'm looking for a special ring, but I haven't found one that I really want. So.
Yes, true gems come in all shapes and sizes. This estate collection shows that no matter how old a gem may be, it can still have a gleaming future. This is Maximilian Thomas, Triad News 360, reporting.
Truly, it was a real dazzling experience to just be surrounded by all different kinds of valuables. It was a lot of fun, and it was really cool just to kind of just be around. It was really awesome.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
What were some of the pieces like?
They were elderly a little bit more. Like one of the shots actually was, there was actually a locket from the Victorian era, which was really awesome. There was jade, there was different kinds of pieces from all different kinds of time periods, from the 80s. There was a bolo tie, there was gold, there was whatever. It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Is this just for high-end collectors, or can your average person purchase these items?
It's about 50-50 because, you know, all these pieces, especially with the estate jewelry, which is something that somebody actually previously owned, they're all real. So if you're buying something, it's like $1,500, you know, $2,000 maybe, depending on what it is. In fact, at the end of that clip, there was that necklace that the nice lady was wearing. They gave that away. That was a $1,500 chocolate diamond and diamond necklace that they just kind of gave away as a prize. I was thinking about putting my name in there, but I was like, if I won, that might be a little bad. So, and with Valentine's Day next week, it's pretty cool, actually. It's a nice place to go.
That's awesome.
Sounds like a great place to pick up some presents for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And for collectors, what a dream come true to find some unique items. Thank you, Maximilian. President Donald Trump has delivered its first State of the Union message to Congress and the nation.
The speech was followed by the Democrats' response by Representative Joseph Kennedy.
At 1 hour and 20 minutes, it was the third longest State of the Union message in the last 50 years. President Trump brought up many familiar topics such as immigration, the economy, and the military.
The president also went over what his plans are for the upcoming year.
But who actually tuned in was what everyone was talking about. Are the millennials actually tuning in?
Triad News 360 took to the streets to find out who watched and who didn't.
Did you watch the State of the Union address? Yeah, I watched the State of the Union address. In my opinion, Trump didn't really talk about the good things that are going to come forward in this new year. It was just mostly filled with him saying a bunch of stuff, and after every sentence, people would stand up and applaud, or the other side of the room wouldn't like any of it.
Like younger than us? No, like our generation. Well, if tweeting makes the president, then sign me up, because that's all that means, that because he tweets, he's a good president. Listen, he's an idiot. I don't like him. I'm sorry. And if that's what our generation, my generation, likes, then I am not living in this country much longer, because we are in for a rude awakening.
State of the Union speeches have historically not been very popular on TV.
But even with all of the emotional issues coming out of Washington, the public still didn't pay a great deal of attention.
You would think that during the colder winter months, we might get a break from highway construction. Well, think again.
The I-85 construction project is taking place between exits 55 and 68 on I-85 North and South Carrabas in Rowan County of North Carolina. The project funding was approved on January 6, 2006, and environmental document approved on December 30th, 2013.
Construction on section I-3802A from exit 55 to exit 63, just north of Moose Road in Rowan County, started spring of 2015 and is currently under construction.
Construction on section I-3802B starts from north of Moose Road and ends of north of Old US 29 and US 601 I-85 connector to Rowan County, starting fall of 2016, is currently under construction.
The project entails widening I-85 from 4 lanes to 8 and tearing down and rebuilding overpasses to accommodate population growth.
According to the North Carolina Department of Transportation, the $297.14 million project is expected to be done sometime in November 2019.
Triad News 360 sped up the video since the original video was 20 minutes long to drive through the full construction project.
Although ratings for this past Super Bowl are slightly down from past years, most people in the eastern Pennsylvania really don't care.
Fans clad in green and white yelled and screamed as TV's Eagles hung tough with the Patriots.
The Eagles have come close a couple of times to their winning first Super Bowl, but with a backup quarterback, they were the underdogs once again.
But the Eagle fans were not about to let that stop them from cheering on the green and white.
They even changed out their Christmas decorations to Eagles decorations outside their homes.
After the clock ran out and the Eagles won their first Super Bowl, Eagles fans rushed out to the stores to stand in line in the freezing cold to buy their winning Super Bowl gear that they will cherish for years to come.
Wow. But Super Bowl parties consumed the East Coast in New England.
The Super Bowl party in New England, clam chowder in number 12 jerseys stretched far as the eyes can see. What's on the line?
A 6th Super Bowl championship for Belichick, Brandy, and the Pats. As the game goes on and the Patriots still trail, Pats fans aren't worried. They've seen this move before.
A strip sack at the end of the game ends with the party with the upset. Their 6th Super Bowl ring becomes Philly's first, but the Pats have the rings to prove that there's always next year.
Exciting, high-scoring games, great halftime show, and some really cool commercials.
The Super Bowl, an American tradition like no other. Now, an entire summer of crazed fans trying to guess what will happen next year.
Coming up next on Triad News 360, we take a look into what has some folks upset about the hospital waiting rooms.
And more on the bridal show that has brides' dreams coming to life. We'll be right back.
A problem that is slowly destroying our Earth, one piece of trash at a time. $11.5 billion is spent each year cleaning up litter among the United States. Cigarette butts account for 50% of all litter in America. Be responsible with your trash. Wait till you're near a park or gas station to safely throw away your trash in a trash can. We only get one planet. Stop the littering.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Welcome back to Triad News 360. I'm Sydney Goldberg.
And I'm Jennifer Brammer. The outbreak of the flu has left people waiting for hours in the ER, patients bedridden for weeks, and even children without a mother.
After being diagnosed with the flu, Amanda Franks, a New Hampshire mom of 4, died from complaints due to her refusal to take Tamiflu, a medication used to cure the flu virus.
Frank's doctor said Tamiflu is worse than the actual virus, after notifying her of the potential side effects such as headaches, dizziness, vomiting, and nausea.
In attempts to fight the virus on her own, Franks died 3 days later after her diagnosis. And the flu has not only caused lots of pain to lots of people, it has really stretched out hospital emergency rooms across the country.
This season, the flu hospitalization rate for the 2018 season has been the highest in years.
Hospitals are very busy right now as the flu hospitalization rate of 2018 season has been the highest in years. It has just surpassed the lethal 2014-2015 season, during which 710,000 Americans were hospitalized and 56,000 died. And that has led to a lot longer waits in the ER waiting rooms, sometimes that people really upset. For Dot McAndrews until the night turned into a complete disaster after slicing her finger.
I had to go to the High Point Regional Hospital for stitches because you could see the bone in my finger.
Little did she know she'd end up having to wait 4 hours in the waiting room and an extra 2 to get stitched up.
The lack of medical staff the night that I was in High Point Regional was probably the reason I had to wait so long. And I think that's completely unacceptable.
The HR director, Becky Kreitz, responded, "Just as an FYI, the emergency room can be very busy, and patients waiting to be seen don't always know how many emergencies are being brought in via EMS through the back." However, Dot McAndrews isn't the only person with these type of complaints.
We went to the hospital at like 9 at night and we were there till 3 in the morning. We didn't get any results. there was no one there helping us. We were just sitting in a room. And I think, honestly, if they had more people working there, then like we would have gotten in and out of there and probably would have gotten actual answers to our problem.
The High Point Regional HR Director, Becky Kreitz, continued in responding, "I can assure you we are not understaffed. We are simply a very busy hospital." According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the report average emergency room wait time is about 30 minutes and the average treatment time is about 90 minutes, which adds up to roughly of 2 hours in the ER.
Yeah, when people go to the hospital emergency room, they are usually sick and are looking to get help right away. Having to wait up to 30 minutes to see a doctor can really frustrate people when they are not feeling well.
Hospital staffs is always issues across the nation during the extremely busy flu season. They are doing their best.
Wedding bells are ringing for quite a few brides, and the pressure to get everything perfect is on.
A bridal show is the perfect remedy to relieve pressures from dresses and the cakes they all have to do.
The Blandwood Carriage House is a bridal show is a great place for brides and vendors and locations for their weddings.
The historic Blandwood Carriage House is a wedding venue itself.
Jewelry, wedding dresses, photographers,
wedding companies, floral arrangements, caterers, and more were there to help the bride-to-be. With nerves running high, bridal shows are a great place to find the help you need. Coming up next on Triad News 360, Ashley Daniels joins us in an update on High Point University sports.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
How am I going to pay for this?
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Welcome back to Triad News 360. I'm Sydney Goldberg.
And I'm Jennifer Brammer. Joining us now is Ashley Daniels with all the Panther sports. Ashley?
Thank you, Jennifer. Sydney, the High Point University men's basketball team defeated Campbell University 67-56 with a big second half on Saturday. Jahad Proctor led the Panthers with 20 points, followed by Andre Fox, who recorded his first double-double of his career with 14 points and 10 rebounds. HPU's overall record is now 11-12 and 6-6 in the Big South Conference play. Up next, the Panthers travel to Radford Wednesday to take on the Highlanders at 7 p.m. The High Point University women's basketball team dropped its second in a row, losing to Campbell 51-44 Saturday in the Millis Center. The Panthers held the lead after 3 quarters, but Campbell outscored High Point by 10 points in the 4th quarter for the victory. Emma Bukarath led the Panthers with 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists, playing all 40 minutes. The women's team is back in action at Longwood University tonight at 7 p.m. The High Point University men's lacrosse team kicks off their season Thursday night in Durham against the Duke Blue Devils at 7 p.m. Head coach John Tropey and the Panthers look to bounce back from a 4-10 season last season. The Blue Devils are ranked #1 in men's lacrosse by the NCAA. After the Blue Devils, the Panthers travel to Washington, D.C. to take on Georgetown next Tuesday before returning to Vert Stadium for the home opener against the defending national champions Maryland on Saturday, February 17th. The High Point University women's lacrosse team will start off the season this Saturday at Vert Stadium versus Furman. The Panthers finished last season with a 16-4 overall record, including a 7-0 in-conference record that led them to the Big South Championship. Looking ahead, the Panthers will play the third-ranked UNC Tar Heels the following Saturday at Vert Stadium.
Thank you, Ashley. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight at Triad News 360. I'm Sydney Goldberg.
And I'm Jennifer Brammer. Have a good night, High Point.